Hey girl, so I am here to tell you the 2 ways that you are going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is not emotionally available. Y'all ready? Okay. Way number 2 that you know he's not emotionally available is he will not plan ahead. He won't plan ahead. He absolutely cannot tie down plans, destinations, dates, whatever the case may be that you want him to do. If you ask him a question, his answer is going to be, we'll see. I'll let you know. I'll think about it. That sounds like a good idea. We could talk about that. Something along those lines. So I have a story for you. So I was dating this guy. We were in a long distance relationship. He lived about 4 hours away from me. And when we first started talking, he was meticulous about planning. He would let me know weeks ahead of time, like I will be there on such and such date. This is how long I'm staying. He had a really good job and he could make his own schedule. So he would come and work in my city. He would be in my city for weeks at a time because he really wanted to spend time with me. I really didn't have to do a whole lot of planning at all because he was Johnny on the spot when it came to planning the future, planning ahead, wanting to set up dates, wanting to make sure I was available. He was available at the same time. He was coming, right? And so this went on for several months. I didn't think about much. I didn't worry about anything because I knew exactly where he was coming from. I knew exactly what he wanted, and what he wanted was a relationship with me. So I was very confident and secure in that. But slowly but surely, things started to change a little bit. And one of the first things that changed was his lack of planning. He stopped planning out of nowhere. And so it kind of threw me at first. I was like, what's going on? So I would ask him like, hey, what are you doing on this week? And he'll be like, I'm not really sure. And he would just kind of leave it at that. Now, common sense says maybe something's going on in his life. Maybe he's going through something, or, people can change and that's totally okay. But it lasted for a long stretch where you could just not tie him down to lock in, to commit to a plan, whether it was a date or coming to see me or me coming to see him. You just couldn't lock him down. And so I started to think something's got to be going on. Something has to be up, right? And it was really, really bothering me. And guess what? I was right. I ended up asking the right question at the right time, and he admitted that he was cheating. It was like emotional cheating. And so I was like blown away, but I knew something in our relationship had changed when he stopped being able to lock in and make a plan, plan ahead. When they're not able to make a plan ahead, plan for the future, they're not emotionally available. Something is going on. You want to be with somebody whose yes is yes and their no is no, and they are just as interested in as you are in making a plan, setting dates, setting times, being consistent with it. Okay? Now, the number one way that you're going to know that they're not emotionally available is if they won't commit. Commitment is major. You need it. It's necessary. A lot of women have tricked themselves into thinking that it's not, like, oh, it's okay. We're just doing what we do. It's not okay. And if it was, you wouldn't be here listening to this video right now. And I know it frustrates you, and I know it bothers you, and it definitely bothered me. So you need a person who is willing to commit. So I got another story for you. So I was in this rebound stage in life, had just gotten out of a major relationship, but I was at the gym, I'm working out, I'm trying to be a better me, and I meet this guy, and he was super, super cute, funny, genuine. Oh my goodness, we just sat there and laughed. We were at the gym for like hours just talking before we realized how long we had been there. And so we exchanged numbers and do all the things. So we started dating, right? And it was just at a time in life where everything was kind of chaotic on my end. So it was hard for me to spend time with him and to get babysitters and stuff like that. Like, it was a really difficult time. So one particular weekend, I was like, oh my gosh, I have the whole weekend. We can spend time together. We can hang out and stay the night and do all the fun things, right? And so I went to his house and we're hanging out and we're having a good time. But I was uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh my goodness, why am I feeling uncomfortable in this moment? And when I say I was uncomfortable, when I get this feeling, it's almost like taking a shower with socks on. It's like, you know, something's wrong. You're in the right place, but maybe the wrong time, or vice versa. I just totally felt uncomfortable. And so I'm sitting in his room. We're watching TV. I'm sitting on the edge of his bed, and we should be enjoying ourselves right now, but I could not get comfortable because there was no commitment. I didn't know what was going on. So I did the very, very, very scary thing that we sometimes don't want to do. And I asked a question. Y'all know what question it was? I said, what do you want from me? And he like barely hesitated. And he looked at me and he was like, nothing. And you guys, when he said nothing, I was like, oh, okay. And I started looking around the room and I started like slowly gathering my things. But before I started physically gathering things, it was almost like he could see me mentally gathering myself and getting myself together, like, oh, he wants nothing. He just told me that he wants nothing. Ah, thank you for telling me that. It hurts, but man, he just told me he wants nothing. And so he started trying to backpedal. I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. Well, what I meant was, and I'm like, no, it's okay. Because I knew what he meant. He wasn't ready for a relationship. And even though I might not necessarily have been ready for a relationship, I wasn't willing to be in a situationship either. I wasn't willing to be in a situation where we're just floating along, letting things just flow, just going with the flow. You know how guys like to tell you, like, girl, we just going with the flow right now. I wasn't willing to do that. So I had to leave. I had to get out of there as quickly as possible. And so while he was backpedaling, I'm telling him, it's okay. And you know what's interesting? He didn't backpedal so much as to change his mind. He was trying to get me to stay. He wanted me to stay in the moment. He wanted me to stay in the situation. But he wasn't saying like, you know, I would be interested in a relationship with you, or I would be interested in seeing if we can take this further. He was very comfortable with us just being what we were, which was nothing. And that's why he said nothing. So when a man is emotionally unavailable, he won't commit. And you have to be willing to do the very, 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 very scary thing, which is asking the question, what are we? What's going on? What do you want us to be? Where do you see us in the future? Or even, hey, I noticed that we're not making plans anymore. Is there a reason for that? And you don't have to check anybody. You don't got to be argumentative or be a private detective or anything like that. You could just ask the questions and see if the response gives you peace. If you don't have peace, then something is not right. And you can bank on the fact that your gut is going to tell you what to do and if you should move forward. That makes sense? So my name is Tiffany Dion. I'm an author. I was kidnapped when I was 10 years old. I was ultimately sex trafficked as a young adult. Restore is the story of me being taken and the journey to being found again. So guess what? I realized that there's so many people out there besides me who need to be restored, who need to have clarity about the future. Part of the reason why I have so many stories to tell is because I had so many traumatic and chaotic events happen to me when I was younger that it just jacked me up. So as I moved forward, I acted like I was healed and free and good, but I really wasn't. So I made horrible, unwise decisions. So I have a 2-book series, a membership program where you can join me in the healing process and restoring you. So all you need to do is go click all the links that are on the page, join the wait list, read the books, and do all of the things, because we are going to heal together in 2025. I love you so much. Mwah. Have a great day.